There's this regulatory national commission for persons with disabilities that share mental health policy on disability. And also we're opening a presentation to highlight the provision of discrimination against persons with disabilities, presentation of the timelines of the duty of NPAs and ensuring constitution against persons with disabilities Act, and we're also going to have a general conversation. I'm very excited about the conversation because this is a very good time for us to engage and hear from key individuals who will share their thoughts and propose solutions to having long-term engagement with social justice in our area. So if you have a new time, I believe that you all experiences. Sometimes you go to some general buildings and it is not accessible for persons. Wow. And that's the reason why I got out of experience to ensure that all our ministries, all our offices are very accessible to persons with disabilities. That's about time that this conversation is taking a more focused step, more action with them to ensure that there's better inclusion and there's better social justice. So if you reach here, you can click the logo down on the phone while we'll just be ready to work for our activities and guests in this hour and ministry. Thank you all to the ladies and gentlemen. And please, let's go on the very again and keep them very well this morning. Yes. Just something that I can get very well with you tonight. Thank you very much. We will look at the issues of love silence. Thank you so much.
God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please be seated. No, I did not.
Your Excellency, the representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff represented here, and the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation also represented. Honorable Ministers represented here, heads of departments and agencies, members of the diplomatic corps, our partners and key sponsors, representative of the MacArthur Foundation, our distinguished speakers, our panelists, distinguished invited guests, participants, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. May I especially welcome us today as we take another look at the issues that draw us together. Today, it is a great honor and privilege to stand before us as we gather for this important summit on the pressing issues of discrimination against persons with disabilities. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend our warmest welcome. Each one, whether you are here as representative of government ministries, agencies, or civil society organizations, or individuals advocating for change. Your presence here today speaks to the shared commitment that we have building a more inclusive and equitable society. Today's summit brings together a diverse group of stakeholders, all united in the belief that persons with disabilities deserve equal rights, equal opportunities, and the dignity that every human being is entitled with. The focus of this summit is clear: to raise awareness and foster collaboration between different government agencies, ministries and organizations, and to address the systemic discrimination that persons with disabilities often face. As we engage in these discussions, exchange ideas and share experiences, let us keep in mind the overwhelming goal to move from awareness to action. This summit is a critical step in developing a meaningful strategies that will create that lasting change. It is therefore important to draw our attention to the creative thoughts of the SSA, to the President, for thinking otherwise that we need to engage first in such a summit before we go into action. I think we should put our hands together, especially for him.
We have introductions. You have done all the introductions? All.
Yes.
Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to commence properly, may I invite the Chief Consultant and Strategy Advisor to the SSAP to deliver for us the welcome address. May I invite Dr. Ahmed Bolori. Please put your hands together for him. Please let's clap for him properly.
His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Head of Service of the Federation, Honorable Ministers here present, Head of Agencies and Parastatals here present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished speakers, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, ladies and gentlemen. May I use this opportunity on behalf of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Equal Opportunities, on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, to welcome you all here to this all-important gathering. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today will mark the beginning of a very important journey in the history of this administration. As you all may be aware, that there is an act enacted by the National Assembly of Nigeria and passed into law after presidential assent in 2018 that mandates all government agencies and individuals to ensure that there is no discrimination against people with special needs or people with disability. The Federal Republic of Nigeria prohibits in clear, hard terms the discrimination against this set of people that are numbering in this country those that are at least known or those with visible disabilities that are numbering around 35 million, a very significant number considering our population of over 200. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, disability in a person or a certain impediment in a person will not be something that will be defined or determined as the person is. And as wise people keep saying, the creation of man will not be complete until the man dies. So ladies and gentlemen, none of us here is beyond having any sort of physical disability. Our creation begins when we are in our mother's wombs, and then the creation will finish only after we are dead. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, some of us, I don't want to use the word potentially, but all of us are in a way, most likely, in a very clear, bold bracket, potentially people with disabilities, either by direct association or by the cause of empathy and human compassion and human value. So please fasten your seatbelts here as we unveil and unmark this day that will ensure that Nigeria, a country of a population, will be discrimination-free. So ladies and gentlemen, here we have very, very important stakeholders that in the course of this, we consider as people that will change the narrative. And if you are here, you should consider yourself or yourselves as lucky of being part of this history, of being chosen or selected to be invited to be here to mark the course of history. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all, and I'm looking forward to the deliberations through the panel that will be discussed and the very beautiful goodwill messages, after which a communique will be issued and letters of statement of change that will mark commitments of these MDAs will all be signed by various agencies, marked finally by the constitution of the committee that would look into this and ensure the implementation across all government agencies. Thank you so much and good morning.
Please, let's put our hands together for him. Very well articulated. And these days, you get people who can deliver speeches even without writing them down. He's one of those. I had attended the commissioning of a bridge once, and the minister who was going to commission the bridge had not read his speech before that day. And his PA only managed to print one copy of the speech. And we were all standing on the bridge. Between collecting the speech and reading it, there was this bad wind that came and took the paper from the PA's hand. And the thing fell into the river. The minister had not seen the speech before. So he just looked at his PA, he looked at the small audience, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, with my speech in the river, I hereby commission the bridge." It was the shortest ministerial speech ever. May we appreciate the few others who have joined us today. May I especially appreciate the representative of the Honorable Minister for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. Is represented here today by Honorable Mohammed Sirajo. Please put your hands together for him. We have also with us here the representative of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, presented by an assistant director in charge with special needs department, Jato Bemu Bana. You're welcome, sir. The one man who has been able to change the way examinations are written. Yes, they were written beautifully before, but when he took charge with his calculation, he brought it differently. Other people are struggling to copy. May I especially appreciate Professor Ishaq Oloyede, the registrar for JAM. Please put your hands together for him. May I also especially appreciate the representative of the Honorable Minister for Labor and Employment, Daniel Urani, is an assistant director. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together. We have the representative of the Chief of Staff to the President, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, is represented here today by his SSA to the President, Adenike Lawi. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. Also with us here is the representative of the Managing Director for News Agency of Nigeria. We have Kayode Olaiton. You're welcome. Please put your hands together. Also with us here is Major General J.O. Amadi, retired, representing General Adeoye, President of the Foundation for the Support of Nigerian Veterans. Please put your hands together for him. Also here we have Mr. Alobu Innocent, who is representing the Country Director for Christian Blind Mission International, CBN Nigeria. You're welcome. Thank you. We have a live BOT member and co-founder of JONAPAD, Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, Ms. Omotunde Ellen Thompson. You're welcome. Please put your hands together, especially for her. Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate the good work you're doing. Also here we have the representative of the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, Julie S. Akama. I hope I got that correct. You're welcome. We have a long list, but I'll continue to take the ones I can as we continue. We have a very renowned consultant on disability, one who helped to better our bill, one who had also given us hope over the years that it's possible to do well. Professor Tawhid Adedoja, you're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. Also here today, we have from National Orientation Agency, Mrs. Teresa Madwekwe. Thank you for the honor. From the Federal Ministry of Justice, we have Aisha Abdul Rashid. Thank you for coming. We have Major General A.T. Jibril representing the Honorable Minister of Defense. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. May I also especially appreciate the presence of the Africa Director for MacArthur Foundation, who is represented here by Dr. Amina Salihu, the Deputy Director of Africa Office. Please put your hands together for her. Okay, I need to tell us to clap specially because these people believed in us, they believed in this project, and they decided to support us. Can we clap for them especially? Thank you very much. We appreciate MacArthur Foundation for the honor. May I also especially appreciate from the Federal Ministry of Education, Aisiodion Abel Akere. You're welcome. Thank you very much. We have also Onoja Joy Ene from the Federal Ministry of Education. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you. Linda Shaulu from USAID and the political officer of the UN Embassy, Audrey Abrahama. Please put your hands together. I'm sure he will teach us to call his name properly. We have also from the FCTA Agric and Rural Development Secretariat, representing the Mandate Secretary, Chief Dr. Philip P. Ojokoju. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. Habiba Yahya is from NOTAP. Honorable Asia is from National Assembly. And we have also with us Awal M. Matoni from VHSF. Thank you very much for the honor of having us. We appreciate you. Also here, we have, may I apologize for this, that we have representing the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Mohammed Okoshi Onawo. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for me. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is important that we are all here. It is not a crowd, it is a quality audience of stakeholders and people who are drawn from every area that matters. Because going forward, we're moving from decisions and commitment into action. There are some things that we'll be able to show us, but I want to invite my co-MC as he tells us we will do the next program very quickly. We are therefore invite him as he takes on the next program. Please put your hands together for him.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, right about now, before we get to have the SSA, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, we have the honor to review his 1 year in office. So please, can we have the lights turned off? Can we have the lights turned off so we could actually watch his 1 year in office as I invite the Public Relations Officer to the SSA, Aisha Abdulkadir Yusuf, to help us do the honors of reading his 1 year. Please, a round of applause.
Okay. Good day, distinguished dignitaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to introduce myself. My name is Aisha Abdulkadir Yusuf. I'm the Public Relations Officer to the SSA to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities. Since assuming office on November 9th, 2023, following his appointment by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Honorable Mohammed Abba Isa and his team has been dedicated to advancing the rights and opportunities of persons with disability. Here are some tremendous achievements and progress made in the past 9 months. Policy advocacy. In the last 9 months, SSAP Abba Isa has actively engaged with policymakers at both the federal and state levels to advocate for the implementation of policies that promote inclusivity and accessibility for persons with disability. This includes initiatives to improve access to education, healthcare, transportation, and employment opportunities. As part of its policy drive for access to public buildings by persons with disability, PWD's SSAP Abba Isa charged the Federal Housing Authority, FHA, Nigeria Institute of Architects, NIA, and other stakeholders on the need for incorporation of disability requirements and perspective in all building plans and designs by contractors as major criteria for applying for approval from approving authorities. Aside from that, ahead of the 2027 general election, Senior Special Assistant to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Special Needs and Equal Opportunity, Honorable Mohammed Abba Isa, joined his voices with the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, to call on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to provide separate voting points that will be easily accessible to persons with disability, PWDs, to exercise their franchises in the polls. SSAP, now this is for job creation drive. SSAP Abba Isa engagement with Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State on the need to implement 5% employment quota prescribed to the National Disability Act paid off with employment of 15 PWDs by the governor a week after. This is a remarkable milestone achievement which demonstrated the unwavering commitment of the SSAP to inclusivity and equal opportunities through his relentless and equal opportunities, through his relentless advocacy efforts to the former National Coordinator and CEO of the National Social Investment Program Agency, NCPA, Hajia Halima Shehu, the SSAP succeeded in securing more perspective of conditional cash transfer slots for PWDs, as well as increased employment opportunities for individuals with disability. The SSAP's efforts in this regard has also resulted in securing 1,000 slots per 6 states in the conditional cash grant from Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDEN. Aside from that, capacity building skills acquisition. Early in January, the SSAP's office facilitated the inclusion of some women and disabilities in the National Business Skill Development Initiative, recently launched by the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDEN, where they were all trained in various vocational skills and empowered with startup kits and funds to start their businesses. Now, partnership and collaboration. The SSAP's office, in collaboration with Queen Adenike's Foundation, launched the Presidential Economic Initiative on distribution of palliatives for PWDs with over 500 deserving beneficiaries. The program aimed to ameliorate and cushion the effects of the economic hardship on them. Honorable Abba Issa recently joined other heads of civil society organizations and development partners to bid farewell to visiting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and also the president of the Ford Foundation, Darren Walker. Now, accessibility infrastructure. The SSAP advocated for the provision of adequate infrastructure and resources to support the unique need of students with albinism, training teachers and staffs on inclusive teaching method and raising awareness and dispelling myths and misconceptions surrounding albinism. As part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, which is aimed at tackling hunger and poverty by ensuring food security among vulnerable populations, especially persons with disability, PWDs, SSAP Abba Issa recently performed the official flag off of the presidential distribution of food palliatives to beneficiaries across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, where over 5,000 persons with disabilities went home with bag of rice and cash support. Redress for victims of discrimination. SSAP Abba Issa strongly condemns this discrimination act committed by Rano Air Limited. Mr. Usman Bura Gabai, a person with disability and chairman of the Yobe State chapter of Joint National Association for Persons with Disability, who was on May 14, 2024, denied access to board the Maiduguri International Airport, despite booking and paying for his ticket, causing him significant harm and preventing him from attending a crucial disability stakeholder conference he was billed to attend. Now, solidarity. In a remarkable display of solidarity, SSAP Abba Issa led leaders of persons with disability in 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory FCT on a solidarity visit to the National Secretary of APC to express their resounding votes of confidence in the leadership of the National Chairman of the governing All Progressive Congress, APC, H.E. Dr. Abdullahi Umaru Ganduje. On August 6th, Honorable Abba Issa extended his warmest congratulations to Mr. Ayuba Buki Gufwan on his well-deserved appointment as the Executive Secretary, National Commission for People with Disability by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The SSA and his entire team of staffs were also on hand on the receive and special welcome the newly appointed Executive Secretary of National Commission for Persons with Disability, Barrister Ayuba Buki Gufwan, who was on familiarization visit to the Commission headquarters in Abuja. Thank you so much.
Please, let's give her another round of applause. We appreciate you for that message. It actually summarizes what the beautiful things the SSA have been doing. And truly, he had done this more than this. The original thing was 20 pages. We had to reduce it to 2 pages last night. That's what she managed to do. Please, another round of applause for her. May I especially appreciate the representative of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, represented here by Dr. Comfort Adeosho. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you very much. As we gather here, it is the hope that at the end of today, we will be able to agree on what it is. I had to follow JAM once to a conference where we were trying to pick for Nigeria which English language to use. After about 4 hours, it was difficult to pick one. We were trying to choose between the British English or the American English. It was hard because, for instance, in Britain they will say extreme. In America they will say end, but here we'll say extreme end. In Britain they will say knicker. In America they will say short, but here we'll say short knicker. In Britain they will say salon. In America they will say barber shop, but here we'll say barbing salon. In Britain they will say bend. In America they will say corner, but here we'll say bending corner. In Britain they will say so. In America they will say therefore, but here we'll say so therefore. In Britain they will say still. In America they will say yet, but here we'll say still yet. In Britain they will say should. In America they will say in case, but here we'll say should in case. In Britain they will say henceforth. In America they will say from now on, but here we'll say from now henceforth. In Britain they will say reverse. In America they will say turn back, but here we'll say reverse back. In Britain they will say tell me the reason. In America they will say tell me why, but here we'll say tell me the reason why. Please put your hands together for yourselves. The next important one is a message that will come from the heart. It is from a man whose knowledge of disability issues is not only practical, but also one of a participant observer. He is a graduate of public administration with honors from the University of Maiduguri, where he went. He later went on to earn a master's degree in public administration. Since then, he had become a champion of inclusion of persons, PWDs, requirement, and helping to ensure that every ministry, every department, every organization understands what we do at this level. In his determination to ensure that every segment of society is sufficiently catered to within the ambit of the renewed hope, the president called him and said, "You are the man for this job." And so, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to invite for his address from a heart that is full of gratitude, a heart that is committed to this cause, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities. Let's welcome Honorable Mohammed Abba Isa, FCIPN, FIPMA, FOSHA, UNGPD. Please put your hands together for him as he comes on to speak to us on the issues as they relate to why we are gathered and the way forward. Please put your hands together especially for him. Can we clap some more for him, please? Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes you will hear from his heart why he has insisted to be on this stage every time. Please put your hands together for him.
Speak away from the
For camera sake. For camera sake, so hide it. Doesn't match. No, get down this way. One minute. Listen, no, this one will cover you. So the sign language. Thomas. Is it to use to put that?
You can see how we are having challenging in terms of accessibility. Thank you so much, His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my principal, President Aswaji Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency, Senator Kachi Shetima, the Vice President
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency the Secretary to the Government of the Federation here present, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Head of Service, representative of the Honorable Ministers and diplomatic corps, our founder and our supporters for this program, MacArthur Foundation, who is highly represented by our sister in struggling for this bill right from the inception, Hajia Amina Salim. You're highly welcome. Our professors, representative of the Senate present, to all representative of the head of agencies, our executive directors, CEOs in organization of persons with disability are here with us. This is to tell you this summit is one of its kind and it's timely, where we engage the duty bearers, the policy makers in position of authority. Why? Because we are all under obligation. Like one of my consultants say, nobody has immune to become disabled at any point of time. And disability can happen to anybody. We don't wish. I'm not like that. I am born in a ghastly motor accident that compiled me on a wheelchair for the past 15 years. But I did not allow my impairment to deprive me from achieving my goal. God has a purpose for everything. I remember during the accident, I'm crying, the seat belt, I'm crying. When I came, she told me that I should stop crying. God has a purpose for making you to be on a wheelchair. Even if you can end your life in a wheelchair, you can be a ladder for others to succeed. That is the reality what we're facing here. Today marks a significant day in the history of the disability community because we all have a mandate. On 9th of November last year, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will make a history while appointing senior special assistant to the president, especially an equal opportunity in order to align the Nigeria with global treaties. At the same time, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, under his wisdom, he signed African Charter of Man in order to align Nigeria with the global world in disability inclusive economy, and we are giant of Africa. I can remember last month we have a regional African meeting where we engage all African countries, their ministers in charge of disability inclusivity. This is an indicator we use. We realize that Nigeria, out of 65 million, Nigeria has 35 million. And out of this country, Nigeria is one of the countries that has senior special assistant to Mr. President, disability matter, and we have National Commission for persons with disability. Some of the states, they have social, they implement, they demonstrate national social protection policy, and some of the states,
they signed and assented bill would protect. This is to tell you that Nigeria will all fulfill the obligation of the United Nations Convention of Rights of Persons with Disability. In 2018, the former President Muhammadu Buhari signed this bill, and the grace period given to this bill is 5 years. And 5 years has been expired since January. We are now in post-moratorial, that is stage of implementation of that bill. We need to impose compliance day in, day out. Despite the fact we have bill, we have policy, we have commission, we have civil society organization, we have government, they have done a lot. Despite this, we are still facing challenges. Why? That is the essence of this meeting. We need to engage, we need to collaborate. That is the reason why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed me and gave me a mandate to liaise with ministry, department, agencies of government, civil society organization, traditional institutions to make sure that we create avenue opportunity, to make sure that the policy, program, and plan of action for all these MPAs is in line with the calculation and the requirement of persons with disability. That means to say it's all inclusive. That is the mandate that Mr. President gave me. And I cannot achieve this mandate only me in a solution without effective and strategic collaboration. That is why we are here. Mr. President gave us a platform and gave me a marching order to collaborate with you, the ministers, duty bearers. Everybody has a role to play. I want to invite Mr. President, appreciate the MacArthur Foundation. They are the first organization that supported our office in creating this awareness. Please, can we give them a round of applause? We need to invest in creating awareness. That is one of the challenges that we are facing. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. Most of the offenders, they will say they are not aware of the bill. They are not aware. And we are in post-moratorium. And how are you going to achieve till we come together? So with this, I welcome you all. And please, I will go straight and read the 2-page message of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to you. Distinguished honorable ministers, head of department and agencies, the representative of this sponsor, the MacArthur Foundation, notably the Director Nigerian Office MacArthur Foundation, esteemed members of the diplomatic corps, members of the first estate of the Rail, honorable stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. I feel truly honored to stand before you today at this Inter-Ministerial and Interagency Awareness Summit on Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018, organized by my office with support from the MacArthur Foundation. First, I must extend my deep gratitude to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, CFR, for the trust he has placed in me to serve the community of persons with disability in Nigeria. My appointment is more than just a job. It is a calling, and I am fully committed to advancing the right, dignity, and opportunity for all persons with disability across the nation. The President has tasked my office to ensuring that the need and perspective of people with disability are woven into the policies, plans, and programs of all ministries, departments, and agencies. Today, Summit is a major step toward achieving this wisdom. We are here because we share a common mission to foster collaboration, exchange ideas, and build a united strategy for implementing the National Disability Act 2018. The Act is more than a piece of legislation. It is a moral and legal commitment to build an inclusive Nigeria where every citizen, regardless of ability, can fully participate in the society. I would like to especially thank the MacArthur Foundation for their support in making this summit a reality. Their grant has enabled us to bring together leaders and advocates for disability inclusion. And I urge other development partners to follow their leads. Together we can make significant progress toward a truly inclusive society for all. Today, we are constituting the Inter-Ministerial and Interagency Committee for implementing the National Disability Act. This committee will play a pivotal role in coordinating our effort to fulfill the mandate that Mr. President gave us. Today, let me use my privilege as the Senior Special Assistant to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on special need and equal opportunity, and also the organizer of this summit, to announce that the most senior representative of each of these invited MDS here present is automatically appointed as a member of the committee, subject to the assignment by their respective MDS. Furthermore, these committee members will be inaugurated immediately following this announcement, emphasize the urgency and importance of their work in advancing the inclusion and protecting the rights of persons with disability in Nigeria. To support our implementation efforts, my office has recently launched the Association of Accessibility Professionals, AAA. This association will serve as a resource to the committee and all MDS, providing the technical expertise needed to fulfill the inclusion and accessibility standard outlined in the Disability Act. From today onward, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Need and Equal Opportunity, in collaboration with the National Commission for Persons with Disability, will closely monitor the implementation of the Act across all MDS. We will issue quarterly press statement on each MDS compliance status and submit this report directly to Mr. President. Through the constituted channels, His Excellency the President has expressed his commitment to hold accountable any MDA that fails to meet these standards. The committee we are inaugurated today is essential to drive in our implementation efforts. However, it is important to remember that as a duty bearers in government, all MDAs have a responsibility to uphold these acts. We must lead by example, not only safeguarding the rights of PWDs, but also in actively promote their inclusion and ensuring they participate fully in every part of our society. This work is central to the President's Renew Hope agenda, which aims to uplift every segment of our society and ensure that no Nigeria is left behind. As we move forward, let us follow the President's vision by committing ourselves to the full realization of the National Disability Act. Now is the time to go beyond words and embrace action. Let us work together across ministries and agencies to deliver on the promise of equity and justice for persons with disability in Nigeria. Thank you all, and may our
but in the areas of accessibility of buildings. These acts give a kind of a prerequisite period, a period of 5 to 5 years, which with disability. Will I try to end up by this? That I want to also appreciate the organizers of this program, that is a person of the SA to the minister, the president, Honorable Mohammed Abba Issa, who has been very wonderful, who has I look at him as a bulldozer. He has been collaborating with the ministry to make sure that persons with abilities are being recognized in our society. Not only that, we are trying to assure you, the minister has directed me to assure you that with the appointment of also the executive secretary, which we have also, is also another workaholic person, which have just been reported also last 3 months ago. They are going to put hands together and make sure they support you in all aspects of, in order to make sure that the people with disability are carried along in the society. You see, I would like to borrow this word from the Hausa, which says, you know, when I start to say my minister is a workaholic, somebody will say somebody that just resumed a duty last week and you are calling him a workaholic. I want to use these terms in Hausa, which says the evidence of Good Friday market must be not, that is, kasuwan juman da zai yi kyau, turan alamis ake gane shi ko? Laraba ko kasuwan juman da zai yi kyau, turan alamis ake gane shi. Okay, turan laraba ake gane shi. To kun connect Hausa, ni ma dan arewa ne, amma ba Hausan ba sosai bane. Yawa, in the translation, it signifies that evidence of goods Friday market must be you will start seeing it from Wednesday. That shows signify that this market is going to be the Friday market is going to be very wonderful. So with this team of people coming together, the honorable ministers, the education secretary of the National Commission for Persons with Disability, and the workable honorable SSA to the ministers, to the president, I think people with persons with disability will come out with a smile. And I want to assure you that the kind of experience we are experiencing today in this type of place, I don't think we will experience it again by the grace of God. Well, I therefore wish you a well deliberation as you go on to this program. Thank you. God bless everybody.
Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for him. We appreciate you for your comments. May I especially appreciate and welcome the representative of the Honorable Minister for Environment, who's represented here today by Hajia Aisha Tusani Yashi. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for her. Coming up next, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, is a goodwill message. We're taking a few goodwill messages, and I believe they will be short enough to convey the entire message that we have. The first on this list is the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, OON, MNI, who's represented here today by Dr. Comfort Adeosun. Please put your hands together for her as she comes in. Please, can we clap for her, please? Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your commitment. We appreciate your presence.
Well, we're about to cross to afternoon now, so I will still maintain good morning to every one of us. You're all welcome to this program. Please, can we just move a little bit and say hello to our neighbor? Just say hello to your neighbor. We've been quiet for quite some time, even when we are being appealed to put our hands together. I think the change in weather is kind of causing some changes. So I'm here to represent the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, OON MNI. My name is Dr. Comfort Adeosun, the Director overseeing Office of the Permanent Secretary Service Welfare Office, where duties that relates to where we are here today is domicile. So you shouldn't be surprised that I'm the one that is here to represent her. And I'm going to be reading our speech so that we can be able to see our passion and our commitment to what is already ongoing in terms of persons with disability and actually the implementation of the act that has brought us here today. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, distinguished honorable ministers ably represented by their office officials, heads of departments and agencies, the representative of our sponsors of this program. I know that the MacArthur Foundation reps are here already. I also want to acknowledge the presence of all the esteemed members of the diplomatic community, because they have been able to do a lot of things, and this is like a trajectory on this journey for us. And also members of the fourth realm of the estate, I want to say you are also welcome, and all stakeholders here present. And ladies and gentlemen, everyone who is here to drive this innovation, we want to say you are all welcome. Today, it gives us a privilege to be able to say that all that we have been working on is for inclusion and diversity in the operation of governance. Because when we are talking about inclusion, it is a critical thing. So it is a great honor and privilege to address you at the crucial Inter-Ministerial and Interagency Awareness Summit on this occasion, based on the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018. This summit reflects our shared commitment to building an inclusive Nigeria where everyone, regardless of their ability, is empowered to thrive and contribute meaningfully. The Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act 2018 affirms our dedication as a people to protecting the rights, dignities, and freedom of persons with disability. It serves as a powerful reminder for each of us to dismantle barriers, challenge stereotypes, and foster an environment where diversity is celebrated and every individual is respected. The summit brings us together so that we can be able to work in harmony to drive this. Like it has been said earlier, this is long overdue that we need to come together. And I pick a note while the Honorable was speaking. Collaboration is now essential for quality implementation of policies, plans, and goals that is going to touch the life of every Nigerian citizen. Here present, we have ministries and agencies who are here to collaborate to raise awareness of the Disability Act. This platform, therefore, offers an invaluable platform for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and networking among stakeholders that is going to lead to proper implementation and where we can begin to do what? To drive change that is required in this particular area of the country. Let us remember that our strength lies in unity. By working together, we can ensure the effective implementation of the Act and the protection of the rights it upholds. This summit, therefore, provides us an opportunity not only to exchange ideas, but also to shape strategies that will drive meaningful progress across our communities. We cannot gather everyone here today, but we can take decisions, we can form committees, we can collaborate and send out information that will show that the time is now to move in these discussions. Share your experiences, insights, and perspectives. Give us experience and all the things that we need that to be able to implement that. As actually been said earlier, we need to move faster in the area of accessibility. We need to move faster, even as an organization in the civil service, to ensure that when recruitments are done, the Act already said that 5% of employment should be given to persons with disability. This needs to be looked into. In relation to our office, we have been able to do some of this in the past. We've collected data on persons with disability so that we can identify gaps. Now, when we see the gaps, while recruitment is going on, either in ministry or agency, we're able to push forward that this has to be done because we have intelligent, capable, and active persons with disability who can actually serve the country. We've seen the examples all over the place, so this is not limited. Recently, we just put into action the circular on sign language interpreters. And very soon you all be seeing it because it has already been approved. That our programs, public programs, should do what? Engage inclusiveness and diversity. Also, we are collecting another data because people are retiring every day. So we are going to be collecting new data from across all MDAs within the Federal Civil Service on the number of persons with disability. This is to help us to do our needs analysis so that at the end of the day, we are able to get more people because we are having more graduates. Just the same way you have with those who don't have disabilities, we also have with persons with disability who are already graduates, who are qualified to be properly employed into the Federal Civil Service. So in closing, may we move forward with a spirit of collaboration, empathy, inclusion, and unity as we strive for a Nigeria where every individual, regardless of how, can live with dignity and respect. Together, let us continue to make significant strides towards a more inclusive, equitable society. And we are looking forward to increasing accessibility to all our infrastructure. This has been affirmed that we are lacking behind. We are lacking behind in creating platforms, just as simple as a ramp. We don't have it in a lot of places. The issue of having lifts for our persons with disability to be able to get to their offices at different levels. So we hope that at the end of today, we can come up with a good communique. We can also make recommendations and send our prayers to the government so that we can be able to speedily expedite action on this because we are already behind. But today, it's a joy to be here, and I'm looking forward to how we are going to end the summit with a good drive to move things forward. On this note, I want to say thank you, and may this summit lead to fruitful and lasting outcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause one more time from Mrs. Comfort Adeosho. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our goals today are very clear: to spark essential policy changes and amplify awareness, to foster collaboration and build partnerships, and most importantly, to inspire actionable recommendations that can be implemented at every level, from government ministries to local communities. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, still on good messages, I'd like to bring up the Registrar, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, Professor Ishak Oloyode, ably represented here this afternoon. Please, a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please, I would like to stand on the existing protocol. I'm here to represent the Registrar of JAMB, who there was an emergency that came up and he had to leave quickly. So I have his speech here. I would just like to, since I've been given like 10 minutes, I would just like to summarize his address. So I'll be reading the speech on behalf of him. Thank you. I'm very delighted to be invited as a guest speaker. That was what they invited him for at this esteemed gathering on the subject as significant as the rights of persons with disabilities in Nigeria. The journey towards inclusivity has been indeed very progressive, and today it offers us an opportunity to evaluate our successes and chart the path forward. Permit me to use this opportunity to commend the federal government of Nigeria for incorporating disability rights within government framework. The commitment is evident in the recent approval of the National Action Plan for Promotion and Protection of Human Rights 2024 to 2028 by the Federal Executive Council, which integrates the rights of persons with disabilities across strategic areas. I would also like to commend Honorable Mohamed Abba Issa, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Need and Equal Opportunity, for this excellent coordination and successful hosting of this summit. In light of Nigeria's obligations under the Constitution and international treaties, this summit provides an opportunity to critically examine the implementation of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018 and how it has shaped the lives of millions of Nigerians. So in keeping up with the time I have, the Discrimination Against the Act, the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act 2018 marks a turning point for disability rights in Nigeria. The act born from Nigeria's commitment to the United Nations on the rights of persons with disabilities redefines the national approach to inclusivity, ensuring that the persons with disability can fully participate in the society. The Act has 4 core objectives: prohibition, discrimination, promoting access, ensuring representation, penalties for violation. The purpose of this law is to promote inclusivity, equity, and justice by addressing and respecting the unique needs of people with disabilities. How do we encourage people to do so? By listening to them, by granting affirmative action in terms of reflecting, actively supporting them, people with disability access and engagement, to show sensitivity to their challenges by implementing policies and practices that genuinely accommodates their needs. Empathy over sympathy, empowering them through education and employment, love and affection. Let me give you some lessons from JAMB as at today. The JAMB is committed towards upholding the rights of PWDs, ensuring that all Nigerian children, regardless of ability, have access to higher education. Over the years, we have implemented several initiatives to dismantle barriers and promote inclusivity. This includes establishing the JAMB Equal Opportunity Group, led by Professor Peter Okebukola, which was formed in 2020, tailored to their needs, partnering with disability organizations such as seasoned academic, university administrators, and stakeholders such as Nigerian Association of Blind, Nigerian National Association of the Deaf, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, the Albino Foundation. JOG facilitates examination conditions. JOG facilitates equity examination conditions. Stakeholders collaboration, recognizing education as a foundation for self-actualization. JAMB has organized national and regional conferences on equal access, fostering partnership to enhance educational opportunities for PWDs. Implementation of inclusive policies. JAMB created, following the resolution of the first national conference on equal opportunities held in September 2023, JAMB established Disability Support Unit under the Registrar's Office. Additionally, we also encourage all tertiary institutions to set up disability support offices with the sole mandate of addressing the needs of persons with disabilities. And more than 80% compliance have been recorded so far. We also advocated for the introduction of disability studies as a field of study to raise awareness about the unique experiences and requirements of persons with disabilities. UTME books, breathing texts, and have been rendered into audiobooks for visually impaired candidates. In line with the MacArthur Treaty, steps are on to expand services to other prescribed texts. Adaptation of questions, efforts are ongoing to adapt examination items to suit the needs of candidates. To ease the difficulties and encourage access to candidates with special needs, JAMB has established 11 adapted centers across the country. These centers provide special services to candidates with various disabilities, including autism, mobility impairments, paralysis, Down syndrome, dyslexia, attention deficit, hyperactive disorder, albinism, cerebral palsy, and other disfigurements, in addition to the mainstreaming the hearing impaired. JAMB offers free application materials and covers fees, transport, accommodation, and additional support for persons with disability. This extends to assistive devices and personal guides, ensuring that no student is left. Our commitment to advancing inclusivity and support for persons with disabilities in higher education has yielded substantial measurable outcomes, reflecting the effectiveness of our policies and initiatives, as in terms of increasing admissions for PWDs, enhancing coordination by the Disability Support Office, increased comfort for PWDs in learning environment, positive feedbacks from PWDs, improved retention and success rates. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, despite our progress, the path to full inclusion has been hindered by several challenges, which includes lack of awareness. Many citizens, including those in position of authority and subnational government, remain largely unaware of the Act and its provisions. Weak enforcement due to the lack of awareness by implementing authorities. Little progress has been made in providing this infrastructure and institution necessary to achieve these goals of the Act. Limited accessibility, public buildings, transportations, and services are often not accessible to persons with disability, contravening the Act mandates for inclusivity. Societal stigma. Despite rooted stigma and misconceptions about the disability, perpetuate discrimination in various spheres, including employment and education. To address these challenges enumerated above, it is imperative we prioritize the following: awareness campaign. We advocate that we launch nationwide campaigns to educate the public and stakeholders about discriminations against persons with disability Prohibition Act. This would include training of law enforcement and public officials. We must strengthen the National Commissions for Persons with Disability to monitor compliance, handle complaints, and ensure accountability. We also want to urge states who are yet to implement the Act to do so. This will harmonize disability rights legislation and at all levels of government, ensuring no state lags behind in protecting the rights of PWDs. Accessible infrastructure. We need to develop accessible infrastructure, including public buildings, transportation, and communication system, to ensure that persons with disabilities can fully participate in the society. In the Registrar's address at the first Africa Regional Conference on Equal Opportunity held in September, he emphasized that the mission of JAMB Equal Opportunity Group goes beyond simplifying arranging facilities for candidates with special needs. Our focus extends to identifying and sourcing cutting-edge assistive technologies that would support the admission, retention, and success and career advancements of persons with disabilities. We also, encourage people to take cognizance of the artificial intelligence AI facilities that are available now that would help persons with disabilities in aiding their movement and aiding the way they see life. Inclusive policies. We encourage both private and public sector to adapt inclusive hearing practices and create deliberate opportunities for persons with disabilities in the workforce. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, discriminations against Persons with Disability Act is a vital tool for change capable of transforming the lives and millions of Nigerians with disability. To realize its full potential, we must commit to removing barriers, fostering inclusivity, and by doing so, we will uphold the dignity and rights of all persons, regardless of their different abilities. Let us work collectively to ensure that every Nigerian enjoys the freedom to live, learn, and thrive without barriers. Thank you for your attention, and God bless.
Thank you so much. Please, round of applause one more time for the Professor Ishaq, ably represented. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Inter-Ministerial and Interagency Awareness Summit on the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act is proudly brought to you by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant and proudly supported by the MacArthur Foundation. And the MacArthur Foundation is a leading global organization that has been driving positive change in Nigeria for over 30 years with a focus on human rights and inclusion. The foundation has invested over $1 billion in supporting initiatives that promote equality and access for marginalized groups, including persons with disabilities. Their commitment continues to empower communities and foster systemic change across sectors. One more time, please, round of applause for the MacArthur Foundation, and a very big thank you to MacArthur Foundation. Speaking about collaboration and partnerships that has been driving positive change in Nigeria, I would like to bring up Andre Abrahamian from the U.S. Embassy for his goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Andre.
Hello, everybody. I don't have prepared remarks. I just learned recently I've been making them, so I'm free to wander around the stage like Kiss Daniel or somebody charismatic and stuck behind the podium. I'm really honored to be here today and represent the U.S. Embassy. The United States government is a partner to Nigeria and really hopes to see not only a more inclusive society, but more stable, prosperous, and successful Nigeria. We hope to partner across a range of government and civil society actors to help you, Nigerians, achieve these goals. We know that more inclusive societies tend to be more stable and more prosperous. We believe there is a link between those things. And not only that, just last week in the State Department, we had an internal meeting about disabilities that I was able to participate in virtually. And our special advisor on these issues, she made a point which I think is really important in this context. And that is that we need to start thinking about disabilities and inclusion as costs. Think about them as investments. Paul, you said to me just before we started that 15% of young people in Nigeria have a disability. Is that right? That is a future workforce. That is a future set of productive individuals that if we invest in today, we'll be able to lead Nigeria to a successful, wealthy future. And of course, we're going to hear about a lot of big picture things today as well. The programs and committees that have been spoken about already, some of the things that are huge that we have to tackle together as partners, eradicating polio, education, anti-corruption, so that resources are allocated and invested correctly. These are all huge things too, but as we think about today, this program, I'd also encourage us to think small as well. We all work in a place, I'm sure, where the access is insufficient. I think we witnessed it today with the ramp. This is not a good enough ramp. And I'm not trying to be judgmental here. Our own ambassador's residence has the same issue. If you come in a wheelchair, you have to go all this long way around and come into the back of the building. That's something we need to improve so that everybody can come in the same entrance, feel respected and included in the same way. So that's a small thing, it seems, but is really a big thing. So as we think about the big picture things today, let's also think small and think about ways in which the U.S. Embassy can partner with your institutions. I'd love to be in touch with any and all of you going forward. Thanks once again for including us. It's really important. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for that encouragement and for the hope, and for the fact that we need to add to the workforce what you have just highlighted. I remembered once in my office, persons living with disability had paid me a courtesy visit. And one of them said, "Ben, have you joined our association?" I said, "No, not yet. I'm not living with disability." He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Can you read without your glasses?" I said, "No." He said, "You better come and register because you are one of us." Well, the next, of course, very quickly, is to bring up one of our very special guests for today. I will start off by introducing him with a short story. It is written in one of the pages that in the Grand Theater of Nigerian politics, The man I'm about to bring stands as a figure whose journey reflects the art of both governance and statesmanship. Born from the fertile soil of Nasarawa, he rose from the ranks like a seasoned tactician in a political chess game, where every move is calculated, yet every setback is met with resilience. His story began in the halls of Nasarawa State House of Assembly, where in 2003 to 2011, he not only served as a committed legislator, but also held the prestigious mantle of Speaker from 2003 to 2007. In his role, he guided the Assembly through turbulent waters, balancing the aspirations of his people with unyielding demands of governance. As the years passed, his influence expanded beyond the state borders. His political journey catapulted him into the national stage, where he represented the people in the 7th and 8th National Assemblies. Through the period, he honed his skill not only as a legislator, but also as a strategic player in the game. More than a mere politician, he's a businessman, a philanthropist, and he has always viewed politics as a tool for transformation of life and an investment in the economy. Now, as a member of the 10th Senate, he continues to navigate the complex corridors of power, driven by a singular vision, to craft policies that will secure the prosperous future of his people and his nation. His legacy, however, is not just written in the laws that he passes, but in the lives that he touched and the hopes that he has inspired. In the grand narrative of the Nigerian politics, I especially welcome the representative of the Senate President, distinguished Senator Mohammed Goshi Onawo, to speak to us. Please put your hands together for him as he comes in. Please, can we clap for him properly?
Good day, everybody. I wish to stand on the existing protocol. I wish I was given the opportunity to speak here as a person so that I can share my view and my experience on what this program means to me. But I'm here representing the number 3 citizen of this country, and he has given me a speech to read, and I'll do that. And I didn't know that the MC knows me that much. Thank you very much for all the good things you say. I'll read what the Senate President gave me to read. We stand here today at a pivotal moment in our nation's journey, a moment that calls upon us to embrace the ideals of equality, dignity, and justice for every citizen of Nigeria. As we gather for this Inter-Ministerial and Inter-Agency Disability Rights Awareness Summit, let us pay tribute to the organizer, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Needs and Equal Opportunities, for using this forum to remind our country of its civic responsibilities. Let our commitments resonate far beyond these walls. Let them echo in the hearts of millions who look to us for hope and leadership. The Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 is not merely a piece of legislation. It is a declaration of our values, a bold affirmation that every Nigerian, regardless of his challenges, deserves the opportunity to participate fully in the life and governance of our nations. It is a testament to our unwavering resolve in the Senate to ensure that no citizen is left behind, that no individual is denied his rightful place in our society. Throughout history, we have witnessed the indomitable spirit of individuals who have triumphed over disability. Consider Franklin Roosevelt, who, despite his own struggles with polio, led a nation from a wheelchair through trials and tested the very fabric of democracy itself. He reminded us that the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us cast aside our doubts and step boldly into a future where every Nigerian is empowered to dream and to achieve. We must also heed the wise words of Helen Keller, who once said, "To have sight and no vision is the most terrible thing." Vision is not merely the ability to see, it is the capacity to understand the potential that lies within us all. As leaders, it is our solemn duty to ensure that each person, each dreamer, each doer has the opportunity to realize their aspirations, regardless of the obstacles they may face. In the spirit of unity, let us reflect on the profound truth that you cannot keep down a man without staying down with him. The truth resonates deeply with our missions today. A nation that neglects the rights of its citizens, especially those with disabilities, stifles its own progress. Nigeria cannot afford to keep any law-abiding citizen down. We must rise together, shoulder to shoulder, and forge a path towards shared prosperity. The renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a covenant with all Nigerians, a promise that we will all work relentlessly to build a nation where inclusivity is not just an ideal, but a reality. This agenda is about more than political commitment. It is about nurturing a society where every voice is heard, every dream is valued, and every individual is given the chance to contribute to our collective future. We embark on this noble journey. As we embark on this noble journey, I am reminded of a remarkable individual, Nick Vujicic, born without arms and legs due to a rare disorder. Nick faced immense challenges and bullying throughout his childhood, yet he transformed his life into a powerful story of hope and resilience. Today, he is a world-renowned motivational speaker, sharing his message that limitations should not define us, that we should judge people based on what their heart can do, not what their limbs can do. His journey inspired millions to embrace their challenges and live life to the fullest. Let Nick's story serve as a clarion call for all of us. Let it remind us that we possess the power to change lives and to uplift those around us. As we navigate the path ahead, let us commit ourselves to creating an environment where every person, regardless of their abilities, can thrive together. Together, we shall ensure that the rights of persons with disabilities are not mere words on a page, but a living reality that we actively protect and celebrate. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's clap for him. Distinguished Senator, we appreciate your presence and particularly for your support. That adage was a strong one, particularly referring to Chinua Achebe, who had said that you cannot pin a man down without yourself going down. And mothers will say a child that says a mother will not sleep will also. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a panel popularly constituted, but this time I want to bring up our moderator, who is one who holds a bachelor's degree in international relations, and the New York Times says he has a bachelor's degree in public administration, a master's degree in international affairs and diplomacy, and a master's in information management. So you see that he's ably qualified to do what he's about to do. He's also a PhD in policy and strategic studies from University of Abuja and another master's in law enforcement and criminal justice